Well, greetings. It's Saturday, and hopefully we've got enough time tomorrow, because we didn't manage it last Sunday, to do something else on Sunday, but we didn't manage it with the church services. With you, those of you regular know I work as a church organist, and so it's although we're still on lockdown, I've got 2 services tomorrow at different churches. So I thought we'd do. This was on the floor, kicking around, and it's a Satcom Scan 40. I think we've done one this year, but because of rust coming out of the bottom of it, I thought it could be an interesting one. And I've had comments before about, you never seem to have any original mics. Well, this has come with its original mic. It's come with a power lead, and somebody's obviously used it. Oh no, it's a different set. I was thinking. I was going to say it had banana plugs on, but this hasn't. But it has come with a power lead, and that is going to have to be fixed, because, but we'll do that off camera. If we can get the set to work, the power lead needs a fuse putting in that, because it hasn't got one, and of course that's when you end up with somebody reverse polaritying it, and the next thing the radio's burnt out. I've printed off a instruction book. I don't know whether the circuit diagram came with it, but we do have a copy of the circuit diagram, and I've put that there. And I noticed it was distributed. Satcom and Kerno Trading were the same firm at the time at Bristol, so that's interesting that they were brought in by them. So the reason I printed this off, they can be such a laugh, can't they? For a start, we're going to look at this transmitter. We're going to look at We're going to look at the specifications when if we can get the radio to work, and it says that sensitivity is less than 1 microvolt for 20 decibels sign out. So let's see whether that's true. It does say 4 watts maximum, and it also says from 3.4. So you've got to read these things. So if this radio does 3.4, well, it's going to be fab and brill, isn't it? And it makes so little difference anyway. Once you go over 2.5, the next kind of level up would be about 16 watts, which isn't going to be relevant for UK legal CB. While I'm talking about UK legal CB, this channel is primarily about UK legal CB. It's nearly always going to be FM. It's nearly always going to be UK channels, and we do not cover SSB radios whatsoever. The reason I say this, I get 1 or 2 comments which would be interesting if they didn't have words like SSB in them. Now, any of you who do YouTube, you can set up filters, because what happens is you end up getting spam as comments from prostitutes and things like that, and so they tend to be, if they do come up, they get blocked manually. But we do get them, and you might see "I love you" and things like that, and it's nothing whatsoever to do with us. They're just these spam things that happen, and they end up having to be manually deleted. But we also end up with auto delete, and the auto delete of comments, anyone who mentions SSB or anything which we didn't think is UK legal will automatically be deleted. And some of these comments, which we sometimes see in the deleted box, would have been really good comments, but somebody said putting this pin to that pin makes it do something else. Well, that's not what this channel's about. It's not UK legal CB. There are people who do export CB, and it's not me. So just if you do some comments, I mean, 99% they're fantastic, and as long as you keep it relevant to UK, it will go on. But I'm sorry to say that anything that that mentions anything which remotely could be illegal will be auto deleted. What happens when it's marginal? Somebody might say to me, "Well, we did that binary 10-12 channel set." Somebody might say to me, "Oh, I had one of those in the same case when I lived in America, and it was a Royce." Now, the system is set up for a lot of makes that aren't available in the UK. So what would happen with that comment is it would be put in a box for my attention, and I would tick it and it would go through. That's absolutely fine. But if somebody said, "I have a Royce and I want to use it in the UK," well, that would be auto-deleted, wouldn't it? So there we go. Thought I'd better get that in because there's some comments going to waste, and they would be good otherwise. So it's UK only. So this has got a front which is sellotaped on, and it's got some lovely rust. Mark's been with the labeller, and he says that it doesn't work. So, and there's rust coming out of the bottom. Now these were a Cybernet set, and as far as I'm concerned, one of the last ones Cybernet did before they were sold out to Kyocera, and subsequently sold on and now make solar panels, which seems a waste of all that good radio knowledge. But there you go. This is what happens with businesses. They can't be there forever. We've actually got a bracket with that one, which is absolutely incredible. So I'll open this up, and we'll see whether that rust is relevant or whether it really doesn't matter at all. Yeah, I know we've got comments on that Binatone Long Ranger 12, hoping we can do a field test. But Mr. Chip is really only available from 8 o'clock onwards, the way the work and that goes for him. So at this time of the year, he doesn't really want to be wandering around countryside laybys with a body camera, does he? So I was going to screw at the back. So, and the trouble is, on a Sunday, I'm so committed with all the church services that we can't always fit them in. So I'd like to do that. So it's got a pluggable speaker, which is always nice, and to be honest, it looks quite reasonable. I did write some notes on this. I know we've done one recently, but I don't want to use that information. I like to start from scratch when we're doing these videos, so as if I know nothing about it. I did make some notes from the circuit diagram, and I noticed that on the front panel, the microchips used to generate the scan facility in that LC7191, LC7181, then your synthesizer is LC7131, which would be the standard 40-channel European synthesizer. Now, that chipset, but with a different synthesizer, appeared in the Binatone breakerphone, if you remember where it was all in a telephone handset, and then it was a hideaway unit which went elsewhere. And so you basically got serial data going down the lead, whereas the realistic remote set, the hideaway, it had a lot of wires going down the lead. So it was a more technological approach. And so on that radio, you've got 7191, 7181. So the 7191 was in the handset. The 7181 is kind of the receiver end of it, of the data. And the 7137, because it was UK, was the synthesizer. So it's a very good Sanyo chipset. So I've never seen it before. Obviously, I've seen the Scan 40, but I've never thought about it before, shall we say, in a European set. And so we don't normally bother with European sets because they don't normally work very well for us where we are. But recently, when we've done them, we seem to have actually managed not to have interference such that we can not do the test properly. So I'll just tidy up that lead a bit, and we'll plug it into the power supply. And there might just be enough wire to do that, and I'll try not to knock the mics, which are in between the radio and the power supply. I'll tell you what, we'll use the crocodile clips on the bench, it seems safer. The ones I enjoy shorting out. I've only got one church service on Christmas Day, so we might do a Christmas Day video, and you can all, as soon as you watch the Queen's speech, you can watch me. Not quite sure what's happened to the power plug here, but it looks the right kind, and it's kind of been glued in, but it's been done. It's the proper kind of connector, and it's done all right. There's your serial decoder, or whatever it is, Sanyo chip with 7191 and scan generator. So you've got two boards. So we'll get it connected up to the test equipment. Of course, we do pop some other things in, don't we? I've been doing little range, all done the same. We've done the 2 meter ham radio little test. We did the 70sems one. We've done the 4 meter one. I think we might be able to do the 6 meter one this weekend. So, you know, we do a bit of that, but it's nearly always going to be FM, and that's that. So, we'll switch the power supply on. And because it's an analog meter on that power supply, I want to be somewhere around 13.2, 13.8 volts. So let's just see where we are. I'll just set that to the notch and let's see what the notch turns out to be. .5. Just pop that up to 13.8 or something. Will do. We like the results to be the same. Oh, it is on and it's a dead set. So we'll bring that meter back and we'll see where the power's actually getting into the radio. The answer is no. Now we know power's up to the crocodile clips because I tested it, and there we have it again. So we have an open circuit between one end of the power lead and the other, so we'll try it at the socket. And we have power. So the issue is here, which is strange. I know we paid £55 for one of these off eBay, but it did come with the box and it isn't this one, so I think we've done another one earlier in the year. I just checked with the computer, just clean those up a bit. I just wonder what's happened there. I'll just kind of close the pins up again a bit with some pliers, just in case they've gone a bit loose. And is it wired the right way around? It looks it. Right, back to testing there. So we have power there, but strangely, oh yeah, we're lit up now. Yep, we're lit up. It's sat there scanning away. So just closing up those pins seemed to be what the problem was. So get rid of noise blanker, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of auto scan. Set the switches jammed probably by the bit of sellotape. And pop it onto channel 20. Okay, we'll probably have to have that front panel off. Might run it through the dishwasher while I'm at it. So I'll go into picture in picture and then we can see together whether this thing's generating any power. I'll go on the 3 watt range, and then in that case the full scale deflection will be 3 watts or plus. So what's happening? Well, we've actually got no transmit. So when I go into transmit, absolutely nothing is lighting up. So chances are there's a broken lead somewhere, or a wire off. But does it receive? Plug it into the test set. You can see why Mark put it down as non-working. It doesn't have PA, and when they've got PA, it just makes it a bit easier to fault find when there's no transmit or something like that. So let's see whether we've got any hiss. So RF gain to full, mic gain to full, volume and squelch are concentric, which I don't like, but that's how it is. So it sits there hissing. So I'll put the signal generator on 27205, which is the channel 20 for CPT. There we are, 27205 on the signal generator. Turn up the volume. That's 0.3 of a microvolt where we last had the signal generator. So that is working on receive fine. So that proves the synthesizer's running. It proves the thing is more or less working. So I think we've got a problem where it's the mic that's actually duff. So I think we'll be looking into that. That might be something else we're going to run through. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to take the front... No, I'm not going to take the front panel off, because that doesn't come away with it, does it? I'm just looking at this filthy mic. I think that's a candidate for the dishwasher. I'll take the works out of it, and we'll come back to the video when that's done. I don't want to handle that. Might catch all kinds of things. Okay, so having put the microphone in the dishwasher, or the casing, I've been through all this, cleaned the switch, and we actually now have to transmit. So, well, how many watts is it doing? Back to the original story. It's just doing full scale deflections. It's about 3 watts. Yeah. So I'll just look at my notes again. Now RV1 is some kind of power adjustment. It might be for the meter. So RV1, where are you? Surely somewhere over there. Yes, just there. So is it just for the meter, or is it for the radio? It's the radio's RF meter. So just get it to go to the green ones. Okay, so we'll go through a tune-up on that. See whether we can get more than 3 and a little bit out of it. So it looks like T2, 3 and 4 are where we're talking about. So T2, 3... then we'll be moving on to those. So can't prove that that's... oh, it is. It does. It says 3. So I'll just go into transmit again. Make sure we're on channel 20, which we are. Get the correct tool. Right, I'll go through that a number of times and see whether we can actually gain anything. We're still at just over 3 watts. Okay, so we're still at just over 3 watts, probably 3.1, possibly even 3.2 when it's cold. And RV5 is a power preset, which is just there, but it was already at virtually full, so there we go. So is this still true? How I've set it to 4? It is. It's just going on to the red. I think we'll leave it at that. No, we won't. I'm getting too fussy in my old age. RV5. It's power RV1. That's it. Meter. So I've just got it, so it's not on the red, it's just the green. So we'll look at deviation next while the mic's in bits. That'll make it easy to do. So we'll just tune the test set for the CPT frequencies. And it's showing 2.5 on the meter. So we'll just do a quick whistle test. Wallow. It's actually over the top. It's been fiddled with, hasn't it? Deviation looks to be RV6, which I'll just locate. Actually RV7, which is there. It's still too loud. Wallow. There we go, that's fair enough. So RV7. Not where I thought. So we'll check the radios on frequency. So we'll just move the camera across to the frequency counter display. Should be on 27205. It's dropped as they do with age. So the crystal trimmer is next to the reference oscillator, which is the red one just down there. And as ever, I will turn it the wrong way, because I always do. Try and get a tool that's like to go in there. I'm on a bit of an angle here with it because of this other board, and that's far from ideal. Let's try it again. Wow. That'll do nicely, just slightly over. Well, that's covered transmit, and receive sounds absolutely great, but we'll nevertheless go through it. So I'll switch the oscilloscope on and the Cybernet meter. So it puts an S9 signal on, 100 microvolts. And we'll find a detector, which looks to be that one. I'm known to be wrong. Actually, we've made an improvement there, so that's good. So while we've got S9 on the signal generator, let's see what the meter reads. And it reads plus 30, so we'll just see if we can find an adjustment for that. It's probably RV2. It is. So there we are. Now got 9. And if I turn that up, we've got plus 30. And if we turn it down, it goes down. So that's exactly what we want. So that's that solved. RV2. So the only preset I think we're going to have left is that, which will be squelch. So we'll pop the signal generator back down to 0.3. It's receiving very well at 0.3. It's a crystal filtered radio. And we'll just move the camera onto the Cybernet meter. So as usual, we'll set that so we get about 4 decibels. Makes it easier to tune. And I seem to think the order is going to be T5, T6, T7. T5, T6, T7, T8, T9 and 10. Well, 9 looked to be the detector. I thought the detector was 11. So I thought that was the detector when I looked at it. So we'll just go back. I'll just go back to the oscilloscope in case. Yeah, I am. It's right. That is the detector. So the one I've done there is one of the IFs, and I've ended up peaking it for best quality, which is actually what we do end up doing. So I'll go back onto that, and I'll zoom out so you can see both instruments simultaneously. So the plan here is to set the signal generator for about 12 decibel cyanide. And I'm looking at the oscilloscope and I'm looking at the cyanide meter. So we want the best cyanide, but the best quality of signal on there as well. We'll do the same with the other coil there. That's it. It's very fine. This is an experience thing. We'll go back to where we were and we'll carry on with the normal tune-up. That was already spot on. Yeah, that was all spot on. Let's have a look at this one. So the front end was fine, but one of the IFs was out and we've been able to improve the detector. So we'll now have a look at where the cyanide is. So let's set that for 20. It actually does do 20, not all radios do, simply because of noisy transistors. Doesn't affect the range. Where did I put my little note? Oh, it's here in front of me. So it's a PR27GB set, so it's a 1987 specification, CEPT FM only for UK use. So 20 dB cyanide, 12 dB cyanide, 10 dB cyanide, and we've got what? Well, tell you what, we've got 0.65. So for 10 decibel cyanide, sorry, for 12 decibel cyanide, .24 microvolts. For 10 decibel cyanide, 0.21 microvolts. Very, very good. So we'll set the squelch. Turn the signal generator off and set the... Oh, I can't do this until we've got the knobs back. So I'm at a standstill. I'll pause the video and we'll wait for the dishwasher to finish. Okay, so I've recovered the things out of the dishwasher except for one knob. That's a nice mic again. And we're just going to glue the little perspex thing. I'll be using the Bostik adhesive, which we use on some of our church organ things. Not a lot, but sometimes we have it in stock. Just put a bit of this on. Not get it everywhere, we don't want it oozing out of the sides. This is an impact adhesive, but I'm not going to do the both sides things, I'm just going to stick it on. And I've cleaned up the front panel. What I did was to unscrew it, pull it away enough that I didn't have to unsolder the mic socket, just to clean around. So we'll check the alignment of that before that glue finally goes off. Just get rid of some of that residue from the Scotch tape. There's a bit left. I don't want to get the isopropyl alcohol to it, it might melt the plastic. Anyway, we've improved the front a bit, as you can see. So I wanted to adjust the squelch, that's where we'd got to. So we'll switch the radio back on. bit noisy on the volume control. I'll see if I can clean that. Switch the signal generator on. It defaults to channel 1, which is annoying. So park the signal generator at 3 microvolts. Get rid of that. And I'll set the squelch threshold. Somehow the scan button's got pressed. So we'll have to go and find the channel again. Set the squelch to threshold. Switch the signal generator on. Nothing. So it's a bit insensitive. What we'll do, we'll go to the other end, we'll turn the squelch to full, we'll put the signal generator up until, hopefully, it comes in. Well, it comes in at 300 microvolts. I want it to come in at 100 microvolts. So it is too coarse, so we'll adjust the preset till that comes in. There we go. Now it comes in as 100 microvolts, which is what we want. So we'll go back down to the other end, switch the signal generator off and set threshold. Switch the signal generator back on. And it's now coming in at 0.71 of a microvolt and going off at 0.65 of a microvolt. So we've got the sensitivity now, so that's fixed that problem as well. I like fixing problems with one adjustment. So I think we're done now. I took the bottom off just to make sure there wasn't any corrosion, so I could get the case screws out. And you can see it's got 2 boards. You've got the synthesizer and scan generator, and it clearly says Satcom on the boards. And you've got the board number, with it being a Cybernet, and it's PBCM001S PC. I'll start again. PBCX001S. Good. Right, well, we'll put the lids back on and we'll just have a flick round, but there isn't likely to be anybody on CPT that we're going to be hearing. So I'll just pause the video, I'll put the lids on. Right, that's put back together. We'll put the aerial in. That's a selective calling socket on the back for people who are into cell call. The squelch knob, sorry, the mic gain knob isn't missing, it's in the dishwashers. Come out of the thing we put it in. 19er, Roger. Hardly likely to get anybody on CPT, but we'll have a go down. Not a dicky bird, as to say. So an awkward concentric squelch control. Priority puts it to channel 9. Auto squelch does just that. Oh, it's got preset squelch, has it? And noise blanket and mic compression. So, there we go. And we'll do an on-the-air test later on today. And that's another one which will live to serve another day, though not much use as CPT only. So bearing in mind what we've done to it, the main thing was that the power lead needed a bit of crimping together. It had got loose over the years. We'll have to put a fuse holder to that. And as far as the radio goes, electronically it was more or less there, but the switch in the mic was dirty and needed cleaning. And there we go. Managed to get 3.1, 3.2 watts out of it. A bit of a par for the course on sets like this from the CPT 1987 era. And what else have we done? We had to bring the deviation down. It was too high. So somebody's obviously doctored it and probably didn't have a meter. So there we go. Satcom 40F from 1987. Thank you for watching.